In today's video, I'd like to talk a little bit about my experiences coming to Japan to teach the first time and what my life is like now. The biggest difference is when I came to Japan to teach the first time, I worked for an eikaiwa, and that is a Japanese conversation school. Now, I basically am like a contract worker. When I came to Japan the first time, I didn't have any experience living abroad. It was my first opportunity to be abroad, just generally. And even though I had lived on my own for some time leading up to that, I had not been so far from family. So, of course, there was a more emotional aspect to trying to start my life, a career in a foreign country so far from family. Still, I had a lot of support from my coworkers, and that's something that I don't really get to experience now. Being a freelancer means that you work for different companies, and each of those companies have their own set of employees, and those sets of employees are constantly coming and going. In the past, if I ever needed help, I could get it relatively easily. My coworkers were easygoing and very friendly. I thank them very much for the help that they gave me, especially back then. Another major difference is job security. Obviously, if I work for one company, they want you to work for them and stay with them. So they offer a competitive salary, typically. One thing that I appreciated is that the salary was the same. Whether it's a male employee or a female employee, it doesn't matter. And now I think it's basically the same. But in any case, job offers will come and go. And so contracts will come and go. And so there is really no job security. I feel I've been quite lucky up to this point to be able to keep working. But I have to keep in mind that the caveat to that is in the past, sometimes the company would take money out that was not really deserved or earned. So for example, we were forced to be part of some kind of weird union and we had to pay union fees even though we didn't get any benefits really. Another benefit is that they covered some other costs. So for example, maybe pension or healthcare or something like that. But in this case now, I pay for everything all on my own. Transportation, no matter which type of work you do, is typically covered by the company. So that's not different. But I like the freedom of being able to, before the pandemic especially, go to different places and be able to experience different. I would go to a student's workplace and teach them directly there. So I would be able to go to different cities and take different train lines and get more familiar with Aichi, for example, as I was teaching. But in the other company, basically you just always teach at the same school, and in many cases you always have the same students. I also appreciate the freedom in being able to do some freelance work. So when I say freelance, then that means that it's work that I have on my own, where a student may contract with me directly. It's really good to have that freedom, because when I worked at the eikaiwa, I think actually it was in the contract, like a non-compete kind of thing. I never mix these things. So if I work for one school, it's a secret from the other school. And when I do my freelance work, also, the other schools are a secret unless the students know about me from somewhere else. It happens every once in a while. They're like, I saw you on this website or something. And I think, yeah, I do a lot. I work for a lot of companies. Overall, I definitely prefer the situation now, even though it's much less stable. So what kind of experiences have you had living and working abroad? I'm very curious about other people's experiences, if they're considering living or working abroad, what kind of concerns they may have, especially in terms of employment. Or if they have lived or worked abroad, what did they experience? Was it very vastly different from anything that I described here? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye-bye.